Today, we're diving into the fascinating and complex history of Myanmar's royal family. To start, let's look at a seemingly simple family tree. Myanmar had a king named Baudapaya, who had an incredible 207 wives. One of these wives was Thiri May, and together they had two daughters, Princess Thiri Bai and Princess Thiri Nandar Duen. Another wife, Thiri Lundu, had two sons with the king, Prince Mayawati and Prince Therawati. Now, here's where it starts to get tangled. Princess Thiri Nandar Duen married her half-brother, Prince Therawati. They had two sons, Prince Bagida and Prince Mindan. Meanwhile, Princess Thiri Bai married her other half-brother, Prince Mayawati, and they had a daughter, Princess Thiri Bai Phew. If you think that's complicated, hold on. The next generation took it even further. Prince Bagida married his cousin, Princess Thiri Bai Phew. His brother, Prince Mindan, married Princess Thiri Mayo Rui, who was the cousin of his new sister-in-law. Then, Prince Mindan and Princess Thiri Mayo Rui had a son, Prince Thabal. And who did Prince Thabal marry? He married Princess Thiri Rui Nanda, who was the sister of his own mother. Let's break that down. This means Prince Thabal was simultaneously the son and the brother-in-law of both his father, Prince Mindan, and his mother, Princess Thiri Mayo Rui. And Princess Thiri Rui Nanda was both the sister and the daughter-in-law of Princess Thiri Mayo Rui. It sounds like a riddle, but this was the reality of the Burmese royal court. So why did they create such incredibly intricate family ties? The answer lies with a group we've discussed before, the Brahmin priests from India. As you might recall, after establishing the caste system in India, the priests exported this social structure to Southeast Asia. They helped local kings establish divine rule, portraying them as earthly incarnations of the god Vishnu. But their influence was challenged by a new group, the Buddhist monks. The monks spread the ideas of atheism and the equality of all beings. Naturally, the common people preferred the monks' message of equality over the priests' rigid caste system. This put the king of Myanmar in a tough spot. If he sided with the Brahmin priests and their caste system, he'd be ignoring the will of his people who were embracing a message of equality. But if he sided with the monks and their belief in atheism, he'd be undermining his own divine right to rule. What was the king to do? The Brahmin priests came up with a clever workaround. They decided to create a loophole in the belief system. Their solution was to rebrand the king as the messenger of the Dharma, or cosmic law. The people wondered, how can there be equality when we toil in the fields while the king and priests live in luxury? The priests explained that true equality isn't about everyone having the same status in this life. True equality, they argued, is about karma. The actions you take in this life determine your station in the next. So, everyone has an equal opportunity to shape their future. In their view, this was the ultimate form of equality. The reason you're a farmer and the king is a king is because of your different karmic accounts from past lives. But don't worry, they'd say, just because the king enjoys comfort now, he might suffer in the next life. And your hard work now could lead to a life of privilege in your next reincarnation. Simply put, they preached karmic equality alongside real-world inequality, arguing that one created the other. The king, as the messenger of the Dharma, was now responsible for maintaining this social hierarchy and ensuring people accumulated good karma. And the fastest way to do that? Labor diligently and give offerings to the priests and the monks. It was a perfect, self-sustaining system. And what did the monks think of this? They were all for it. The priests had given them a respected position and made the king their official protector. It was an arrangement that benefited everyone at the top. But there was one lingering question. How could anyone prove that their karma from a past life was actually better than someone else? This is where ritual came in. Much like the ancient Egyptian pharaohs, the kings of Myanmar had to perform abstract ceremonies to convince the people they were truly messengers of the Dharma. They built grand temples, carefully preserved the remains of past kings, and, most importantly, they focused on protecting the purity of the royal bloodline. The belief was that if the king's blood was not pure, the karmic balance would be disrupted, and no one could be assured of a good rebirth. So, marrying within the family became a sacred duty, an ancestral law to maintain this purity. Later, the founder of the Konbaung Dynasty, King Alongpaya, unified Myanmar. A key part of his strategy was marrying his 6 sons to the daughters of powerful local nobles. This secured alliances and ensured that his supporters' descendants could also have a claim to the throne. But this created a new succession crisis. Who among his sons should be the next king? If he chose the eldest, the others might rebel. If he chose the most capable, the others would still feel entitled. To solve this, Alongpaya set up a system of rotational succession. He divided the kingdom's key territories among his 6 sons, with the plan that each would rule in turn. In theory, this gave every son a shot at the throne and should have prevented infighting. But Alongpaya underestimated human ambition. After he died, his eldest son, Nongdogji, took the throne, and the second son, Shingushin, immediately rebelled. Even though Nongdogji suppressed the rebellion, he couldn't just eliminate his brother. Killing one would only make the next brother in line a new threat. This created a vicious cycle of paranoia and rebellion. Nongdogji spent his short reign putting down revolts and died of illness less than 3 years later. This constant threat, combined with the sacred duty to maintain bloodline purity, led to the kings marrying extensively. As we saw, Bodapaya had 207 wives, producing 62 sons and 58 daughters. His grandson, King Mindon, had 95 wives and 36 children, and Mindon's successor, King Thebar, had 62 wives and 133 children. This strategy gave them a numerical advantage in any family power struggle, but it also meant there were dozens of princes with a legitimate claim to the throne, making succession a nightmare. During King Thebar's reign, the threat of rebellion was constant. At one point, an assassin named Mong Ba Thun was hired to kill him. But in a bizarre twist of fate, Thebar mistook the assassin for a loyal guard, and Mong Ba Thun, perhaps shocked or moved, ended up saving the king's life. After this close call, Thebar and his queen, Supaialat, realized that something drastic had to be done to end the cycle of princely infighting. The queen devised a ruthless plan. On the pretext that the king was gravely ill and wished to see his relatives one last time, she summoned all members of the royal family to the palace. Once they were gathered, they were all executed. Only one princess was intentionally spared to ensure the continuation of the royal line, but the damage was done. The Konbaung Dynasty was critically weakened. This internal strife made it easy for foreign powers, particularly the British, to intervene. Eventually, King Thebar, the last king of Myanmar, was deposed and sent into exile, bringing an end to the monarchy. It's a tragic story of how a system designed to ensure stability through blood purity and divine right ultimately led to the dynasty's own destruction. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into history. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next story.